as we're just southeast of Mamou. So downtown Mamou, you're going to be fine now. Point Blue, you're going to be close, splitting the gap. It's going to be crossing LA 104 here. So right in these areas here, we have Brangus Road. I keep saying that as we see that as moving. And let's see what this road is. That's an offshoot of LA 104, 1161. So where LA 104, 1161 meet up, that's exactly where this rotation is. And this is some strong rotation. Unfortunately, it shows Ville Platte. It's going to be just west of Point Blue, downtown Point Blue. But if you're in the Point Blue area, you need to be inside. Let me get a time once again here, as it is moving rather quickly to where we expect it if it were to able to go to downtown Ville Platte. 9:17. We have about 8 minutes here for you to be inside, away from windows. And I think you kind of know, I've been down here for about 11 years or so, and I usually don't heed warnings like this. So I hope that you are taking this one very seriously. This is definitely one that has my attention, that has the threat of possibly producing a pretty strong tornado based on what we're seeing when it comes to winds. So it's missing Mamou. It just split that gap between Mamou and Chaitanya, and it's really going over, again, LA 104, where then LA, I think it was 1161. 1161. If I had to put the rotation right now, if there's some sort of tornado there at the moment, it's right there in that area. 1161, LA 104, and it's all moving northeast. So it's going to run along this 1161 and then eventually into Ville Platte. We're getting readings probably somewhere. Again, some of these pixels are probably upwards of 60, 70 miles per hour. And there's some strong winds within this couplet here. And if you see me checking on this, I'm just kind of checking outside on one of my apps, and I'm able to really see a high definition look at some of these winds. And again, it's a little bit concerning what I'm seeing from this area. Point Blue, you're going to be close. It's crossing over LA 104 as we speak. So it's been moving quickly if you think about it. If you've been watching since the start of this, it's moved over. It was over LA 13, LA 95, and now we're already past almost LA 104, going right towards Ville Platte. And there's 1161. If you live anywhere off of 1161, please be inside with this one. Nutmeg Road, Dozier Lane, Yes Lane, Cousins Road, anywhere that if I'm naming a name and you're on this road right now, please be inside. And then we get up to Division Road, and then we finally get up to downtown Ville Platte, which we're about probably 5 minutes away from this area of rotation, making it to downtown Ville Platte. It looks like it's going to make a direct line right over Ville Platte right now. And there is LA 10 that comes out of Ville Platte. So it's going to cross LA 1161. It's going to be, looks like, west of Ville Platte. I'm waiting to see. I'm watching the National Weather Service if we're getting any type of reports coming out of there, because we definitely have spotters on a morning like this. Given the setup, to see if we have any confirmed spotters out across this area that would be able to see this. Other than that, again, we're basing everything on radar, and we're looking at this area right here at 1161, at LA 1161 towards Ville Platte. Really, it's downtown Ville Platte that we're watching closely here, as this area of pretty strong rotation is heading towards Ville Platte. The western side of Ville Platte, as it crosses 1161, there's St. John Road. So we're coming out. So I'm trying to give you an idea of where we're looking, exactly where this is. Ville Platte. There's downtown Ville Platte. There's Martin Luther King Drive, and then we have the LA 1161 coming off of there, off of LA 29. Anywhere off of 1161, we really need to be inside our safe spot. That's, again, away from windows, away from anything that's away from windows, and putting as many walls from the outside to the inside as you can. Usually a closet or a bathroom is a good spot to be in. And I usually don't say this, but again, I think I stress that's where you need to be for this. You need to be in your safe spot. As it's moving up towards Natchitoches Road, Ville Platte, downtown Ville Platte, it's definitely making its way towards your area. I said 9:17, we're about less than 5 minutes away from this possible tornado getting up into the downtown Ville Platte area. It looks like it would be West Ville Platte, but it's going to be pretty close to just everything. Now, I know Gerald's, kind of in the safe spot himself. Is he able to at least text us some reports of what he's getting up there? I want to know what kind of winds he's seeing, depending on where he is in Ville Platte. We don't need him live. I just want to know what he's seeing up there, if he's in the middle of this. But he really needs to be safe. LA 10 coming out of 167 in Ville Platte. Again, I can't stress this. This is a very tight couplet, and more than likely we have some sort of tornado coming out of this area right there that is heading towards Ville Platte. And we had an estimated time about 9:17. We're at currently 9:14 at this hour. So the roughest part of this storm is getting into the Ville Platte as we speak. It eventually will get up to Take Cove around 9:23. This is the area we're watching. It's coming out of Point Blue. Mamu, Point Blue, you're clear. As this continues to work towards the western side of Ville Platte, but we're still going to get that, I think, that rotation right over this area. Martin Luther King Drive, 167, Lincoln Road, Natchitoches Road, anything coming out of Ville Platte on 167, really the western half, that's going to be the strongest part of this storm, but there could definitely be some rotation that even goes over much of Ville Platte. So that, unfortunately, it looks like Ville Platte's going to take a direct hit from this. No confirmation yet of any tornado on the ground. I'm going to be surprised if there isn't at this point. And you can see 167. So we just crossed 1161 here in Evangeline Parish. This is going up towards Ville Platte. Eventually we'll cross 167 again and move over towards Take Cove. Are they calling people up there are we calling like local law enforcement and stuff or anything at the moment? Okay. Gerald has left Ville Platte. Hopefully he went down to the southeast towards like Bel Air Cove. But have him ready to go back. Have him ready to go back to Ville Platte in about 20 minutes. Natchitoches Road, we again have 167, Bel Air Cove. You're in the clear. Point Blue, you've had a tornado before. That's you're in the clear now. Rotation is well north of you at this point, but the rotation is pretty much dead smack now over Ville Platte. So hopefully everybody that has been listening, has been watching here on KLFY News 10 has heeded our warnings. I can't stress this one. This is one where you really need to take what I'm telling you seriously. This is not a boy that cries wolf situation, as this, what looks like a pretty decent tornado that could be on the ground, is moving into Ville Platte right now. And the velocities coming out is concerning too, as we're seeing some very strong velocities of very bright colors of green and red right over Ville Platte. And you can't ever really know exactly how strong a tornado is, if we are seeing one at all. That's why the National Weather Service has to actually go out after the damage is done to assess how strong that tornado is. But based on this velocity, it just does not look pretty. And this is what we were worried about. We were worried about this day could possibly produce EF2 or stronger tornadoes. I don't want to make that assumption right now. Definitely some strong velocities now moving right over downtown Ville Platte. So now that we're through Ville Platte, or we're right in the middle of it in Ville Platte, let's move on to the next areas here. As this will be crossing Natchitoches Road, there's LA 363 going up towards Take Cove. And then eventually it will be, looks like it will reach 49. This is going to be a strong storm. This one could be a long track tornado if we have something on the ground, and it could eventually work its way all the way up to Mississippi if it's able to hold on to the ground. But again, I can't stress this, that we're getting some really tight rotation with this. And we're looking at LA 363 coming out of Ville Platte. Take Cove, please take this very seriously. You need to be inside. We have LA 363, let's just see, LA 29. That's your bend in the road here. That's coming out of Ville Platte. If you're anywhere in Evangeline Parish, off of LA 29, stay inside. That's Tate Cove. The actual tornado warning continues until 9:30, but if it's looking like this at 9:30, they're going to have to extend this all the way up until Voiles Parish, and it very well may stay this way because this is some pretty large rotation here, moving across the Ville Platte area up towards Tate Cove, and that is LA 29. So I know we're kind of focused on velocity, and what am I looking at? Well, we're able to see the winds in the storm. The brighter the colors that I'm seeing here, the stronger the winds. We're actually picking up the raindrops within the storm and which motion and how fast they're going. This is showing us some very strong winds towards Fort Polk. The green side, the red, is away. 99 out of 100 tornadoes turn counterclockwise in the northern hemisphere. That's why we also have the hurricanes turn counterclockwise, because of the Coriolis effect. And this is just textbook 101 of a very strong-looking couplet that more than likely could be producing a tornado here. And now it's moving out of Ville Platte up towards the Tate Cove area. And we have LA 29. Anywhere off of LA 29, if you live in the Tate Cove area, again, stay inside. I usually don't say go to your safe spot. Those aren't the type of tornadoes we get in here. And if there's a tornado warning, we obviously want to stay away from windows. This one is different. This warning, this area that we're looking at, different. It deserves utmost attention as it goes up towards Tate Cove. So please be inside. Please, I'd suggest probably a closet of some sort to ride this one out. Do we have an update of some sort?
We're trying to get in touch with the Office of Emergency Preparedness and Management Parish.
Okay. So let's put another storm track on this, since this is moving pretty quickly. Again, Ville Platte, most of it is it's out of your area. So now Tate Cove at 9:23. I mean, I've been stressing Tate Cove here for the last 5 to 10 minutes. And then we have Whiteville at 9:31. Tornado warning in place until 9:30. But the amount of lightning strikes with this, the amount of deep dark reds that we're seeing when we switch over to the reflectivity, also concerning. So there's a bunch of red flags with this. And usually when we're zoomed this far out, it's hard to see rotation. But, man, you can really see it pretty easily here on the velocity this far out. It's right there. And that is a tight couplet. And some very strong winds just rolled through Ville Platte. Are they going to send Gerald back to Ville Platte? Eventually. This rotation, possible tornado, continues to work quickly off to the northeast, but now basically it is in Tate Cove. Anywhere off of LA 29. Extremely strong winds. If we're not getting a tornado out of this, I'll be very surprised. But some of the winds coming out of it, 50, 60, 70 miles per hour. As it's working towards 49. So if you're watching now, and let's see, Washington's well down to the south. So we don't have to worry about anybody in Washington. Everybody's fine there. 49, let's see if we can find some exits off of 49. It looks like we have an exit right here. LA 29. This is pretty much in the path as well. LA 29, 49. If you get off at the LA 29 exit as you go back home, coming in from Lafayette or wherever you come in from, and you head up 49 and you get off at the LA 29 exit, more than likely you're going to be somewhere around this rotation. Very strong rotation. As Tate Cove is now considered to be pretty much right dead smack over the top of the rotation that we're seeing with this. Again, I'm looking off screen. I use a app called Radar Scope. I think a lot of people probably do, and it's a very good radar. It's a great radar app for the enthusiasts out there. And what I'm seeing from that is, again, extremely concerning, as we are getting what usually I see something in Texas or Oklahoma, a very strong couplet moving into the Tate Cove area. This eventually will be moving over Interstate 49. It's basically running LA 29 right into 49 here. So Whitetail Boulevard all the way down here. This is where exactly, if we have any type of tornado, it's in this area. It's right in Tate Cove. It's right around LA 29. And if you're further up towards the north, if you live along 49, Barbreck, Whiteville, LA 29 on the St. Landry side, stay inside with this. Be inside. Get to the safe spot. Fortunately, I don't see any other type of rotation. I guess we'll have to watch this area down here, north of Welsh. But this is this area right here that just came out of Ville Platte that's in Tate Cove. More than likely has at one point produced a tornado. Sometimes these will cycle. They don't necessarily have the tornado on the ground this entire time. They will go up. They will come down. And we may be getting that too. They'll skip along the ground. They don't always have to stay on the ground 100% of the time. And that's right now over Tate Cove. So Ville Platte, you're back in the clear from this rotation. I want to look at reflectivity just to make sure. It looks like things are settling down back in Ville Platte. You probably will have more heavy rains back in Ville Platte here probably in the next 20 to 30 minutes. But the actual rotation, the concerning area, is off to your east now. So it has rolled through Ville Platte, and it's now pretty much smack over Tate Cove, going up LA 29, going up towards Barbreck and Whiteville. So we'll be crossing that Evangeline St. Landry Parish line as that moves up there towards 49, and I've been saying LA 29. That's the two areas right there. That's the best way to tell you exactly where we expect this to be and where it's going, as it's riding LA 29. I mean, because it looks like LA 29 pretty much runs northeast here, from southwest to northeast, and that's the exact track of this right now. So anything off of, if you're on the western side of 49, off of LA 29, please be inside in your safe spot, as this will continue to roll through the area of Ville Platte now. I'm very curious what we have in Ville Platte now that things have settled down for folks in Ville Platte. I'm very curious at least to what kind of conditions they just went through if they didn't go through a tornado here. And this rotation's about to cross 49, so we're heading up to the Barbreck and the Whiteville area. I'm going to put those two on. Let me put these two on just to get an idea of when we expect those. So Whiteville at 9:32, Barbreck probably about the same. Current time's 9:26. Okay, so we have a phoner ready. Is it from Ville Platte? It's okay, so we do have the Evangeline Parish Office of Emergency Preparedness here. We're going to toss it over to Danielle. Let's get that, and keep the radar on if we can, too. All right? Keep the radar up on the TV screen. So, all right, let's toss it over to Danielle.
Again, as Chris just mentioned, we have on the phone with us Liz Hill. She's the Evangeline Parish Office of Emergency Preparedness Director. Liz, can you tell us what the weather conditions are like over in Evangeline Parish right now?
Well, it's currently it's raining very hard right now. A lot of wind that's coming in. It's almost a whiteout. It's hard to see in the Ville Platte area, and there's been a lot of rain, so there's a lot of flooding on the roads.
Yeah, we are very curious to know what's going on that end. As Chris just mentioned, you all just experienced some tornado activity. What should residents in Evangeline Parish do to stay safe right now?
Well, we're asking them, if they can, to please stay in their homes, stay off the roads. You know, of course, if they see water on the road, turn around, don't drown. Some of the parish roads have large ditches on the side, so if they go into the ditch there's, a good possibility of their vehicle sinking.
Right, and if they're already on the road, I know throughout the morning we saw people commuting back and forth, possibly to work. If they're already on the road, you just mentioned that roads are possibly flooded. What do you just suggest they stay put?
They need to stay put. Of course, if they get trapped in their vehicle or something, they can call 911, and we'll see about sending them some help. There's no guarantee that they can get out right away, because I don't know how emergency responders can get to the same area that's flooded, but I know that they'll make every effort to get there.
All right, Liz, is there anything else you would want residents to know right now?
No, just keep tuned to the local weather and make sure that you're aware of what's going on in your area.
Well, thank you so much for taking out the time to speak with us on air. Stay safe.
Okay, thank you. Y'all stay safe.
All righty.
So again, that was Liz Hill, correct? Liz Hill with the Evangeline Emergency Home. Say that again for me. The Office of Emergency Preparedness. It's a mouthful. So she was mostly talking about the flooding, correct? So, you know, we're just in the initial stages that there was a possible tornado that just rolled through Ville Platte, so she may start to get some information of possibly some damage across those areas. It will be hard for me to believe that we didn't have some sort of tornado on the ground there as we went through southwest of Ville Platte, through Ville Platte, and possibly still a tornado on the ground here as it moves across 49. In fact, I think the National Weather Service is issuing a new tornado warning for this same one, though. We're not going anywhere with a different tornado warning. Let me just make sure I'm not saying that one wrong, because there will be these little vortices that we're going to have to watch on the main line. There's that one down across Jeff Davis Parish, but the main one, the one that had, again, my concern, that still has my concern, is now moving into the northwestern portions of St. Landry Parish, a very strong-looking, what we call couplet, where the red and the greens are matching with each other. And there's all sorts of warnings going on. Okay, so it is the same warning. What they're doing is they're cutting off the last one that rolled through Ville Platte, and that one just expired. Right call on that. And now the new one does include now upwards of Simmsport, so we're going to be getting into the southern edges here of Avoyles Parish as that will continue to work across 49. And that, again, has a very strong signature that we have a tornado in this area that I'm zooming in on right now. Going right into the Whiteville area. Whiteville, hopefully, took my warning there to stay inside. Dubuisson, LA 182, it's going to cross right over that area. It's pretty much over 49 now. Moving into northwestern St. Landry Parish. So this is well north of Washington. Again, we're talking Whiteville, Barbreck, Morrow, Dubuisson, and LA 182. Anywhere east of 49 now. Now that's our focus. So we have Saunier Road. We have, looks like, Melvins Road, those areas, Saunier Road off of LA 182. Very strong looking tornadic signature here coming in over those areas. And this is something that is a little bit of a rarity to see these stronger looks on velocity like this. This is why I'm being a little bit more forceful with my wording, a little bit forceful with how I'm talking to everybody here, because we need to take this one as serious as possible as it's moving over 49 right now and moving over LA 182 Whiteville, going up towards the Morrow area. That rotation is going south of Barbreck. It's going to be between Dubuisson and Barbreck, going up towards the Morrow area. Let's get a time now on Morrow and some of the areas in southern Avoyles Parish. We have Whiteville at 9:31. Current time, that's what we are at right now, so it's right over Whiteville. Morrow at 9:38, Godot at 9:44, and Plancherville, hopefully I say that right, it's at 9:52. And we're looking at about 15, 20 minutes on that, as we're at 9:32 currently. Live Doppler 10 showing the heavy rains. Flash flooding is ongoing, but our concern will be this area, that red polygon continues to be that area that has significant rotation with it. That's why I continue with velocity. There's really nothing else for me to show you at this point besides this couplet right here where the red and the green match each other. And we're seeing significant counterclockwise winds in that area as it's crossing now LA 182, going right into Whiteville. Northwestern St. Landry Parish. There's the latest scan. Still very strong couplet. Still some very strong winds with this, and it's crossing right now over Whiteville with winds estimated from Doppler at about 60 miles per hour. But when these tornadoes get on the ground, they can definitely pack a little bit of a stronger punch. We're taking winds that are several thousand feet in the air from this. So that's one issue with radar, although it's great to have. Right now that beam is on the higher side, and we're taking winds from the upper levels of the atmosphere. I say upper levels, but it's mid levels, mid to lower levels, and we're able to see that rotation. But that is some strong, strong rotation that more than likely is reaching the ground. I'm going to try to see if we have anything. We use the tools that we have, and you can see how high this is actually right now, with the cloud base upwards of 40,000 feet. That's a very, very tall thunderstorm. 40 to almost 50,000 feet. We probably are seeing, we may see some hail out of that too, with how high that is. I don't see any type of what we call hail spikes, but definitely you have a column of water all the way up to 30 to 40,000 feet. That's airliners. That's where the airliners are. And so I would not be surprised if we're getting some significant hail from this as well. Going back to the normal radar, switching back over to that couplet, and the velocity and the winds within the storm. Still very pronounced. I mean, this is one of the more pronounced velocity signatures that we've definitely seen today, but in a long time. As it's moved now over Whiteville, Dubuisson, you're fine. It's getting into the Morrow area there. Here, we're very northern edges now of St. Landry Parish. We're west of Big Cane, west of Taterville, going into the Morrow area. LA 71. You're going to be taking a direct line over this. Elementary School Road, Morrow, and over towards those areas, Toothache Ranch Road. Unique name on that one. But downtown Morrow. It looks like Elementary Road. This is why, again, we stressed that the schools were out. I think there's probably some people questioning why schools were canceled. This is exactly why schools were canceled. Flash flooding and the tornado threat we had today. And this is the threat of a significant tornado with this area right there that we continue to monitor and track for you all the way through. This started way southwest of Ville Platte. It went between Mamou, Point Blue. It went over Ville Platte. As it got to Ville Platte, it really started to get its act together, really started to tighten up, and it's continued that look ever since then. And we have this very strong-looking velocity signature that has now moved over the Whiteville area and going to downtown Morrow. That's northern St. Landry Parish. We're going to be west of Big Cane, but we got LA 71, and then you have LA 107 coming out of Big Cane. Those areas are matching up right to downtown Morrow, Peter Smith Road, Toothache Ranch, and then it looks like that's the Avoyles St. Landry Parish line, that black line that's running directly west to east. And this is, again, a very concerning look on velocity getting into the Morrow area. So as I've been stressing since Ville Platte, if you live in Morrow, get inside. Get away from windows. Go into the closets. Put as many walls as you can from the outside to the inside. This could be a significant tornado on the ground. And the National Weather Service is continuing that. Warning here. This new one, I didn't even mention that. That one goes until 10 a.m., the one that we're monitoring right now. This is until 10 a.m. Your current time is turning to 9:37. And this area is going right into the Morrow area. Let's see. That is WPA Road, right into LA 71. It's going right over that area. Anywhere LA 71 in the very northern reaches of St. Landry Parish, basically Morrow, needs to take cover here and needs to be inside. And it looks like it eventually will work its way into southern Avoyles Parish. It does look like it will be south of Cottonport. Let's see if Cottonport is not included in the warning area. These polygons now are based basically where they think the rotation will be. Used to be it was just issued parish-wide. Someone in Opelousas would get the tornado warning for areas that are going with the tornado in Morrow. So they've definitely improved in that department, but that's been a change for years. So here's some of the names, or here's some of the cities that could be impacted by this possible tornado. As the current time, again, 9:37 now. We have Big Cane at 9:43. It's going to be close to you folks there. Bayou Jack, 9:48. Placheville at 9:53. And Redfish at 10:01. And that's about the time that it's going to expire. That warning is until 10 a.m. This may continue up into Mississippi. Usually that's what happens. And I'm just kind of keeping a close eye on everything behind this because we're still in an environment that will allow for more rotation. So this won't be I don't think this is going to be our only warning for the day, or at least this won't be our last one. I think we'll see more. Flash flooding still a concern in these same areas, and we'll have to watch these too down here. These storms that are now lifting in from the Gulf of Mexico, they can easily rotate. I said about 10 a.m. we would be a little concerned about the window. There was a window where the values of what we call significant tornado parameter kind of increased around that 10 a.m. hour. And it seems like the models were pretty much on the button with this, as we have definitely some tornadic behavior starting to unfold here across now, just right now, northern St. Landry Parish, but we're really going to have to keep a close eye on everything now. For the next few hours at least, there is a tornado watch until 1 p.m. That's about right. I think 1 to 2 o'clock we should be in the clear at this point, but several hours still of a flash flooding threat and this tornado threat. And every time I come over to the velocity, I hope to see some weakening in this. I hope to see that it's more of a, just more red or more green and it doesn't look as bright. But every time we go over and look at a new scan, it's just as strong as the last time. And that doesn't mean that the tornado's been on the ground this entire time. They can bounce up and down. They can skip along the ground. They can go back up into the sky. They can go a few miles and then go right back down. That may be the case. I've yet to see any type of confirmation yet of damage or anything from storm spotters that would say that we had something and we have something with this. I'm going to be absolutely shocked if we didn't. This area now east of LA 71. Are we working on Gerald?
Gerald was in Opelousas and back to Ville Platte.
Okay. So now that, Ville Platte has been cleared here for the most part, again, he's still going to have to deal with the heavy rain. I'm very curious what he sees when it comes up there with that. So Gerald was currently in Opelousas, which was a good spot to head to after we gave him the warning, and now he is heading back up towards Ville Platte from Opelousas. So it's still going to take about a 20 to 30-minute drive from there. We know that drive all too well, coming off the 49 across St. Landry Parish up into the Evangeline Parish. So live Doppler 10 continues to show that very strong, possibly tornadic activity here as it moves up across now into southern Avoyelles Parish. So it's out of the Morrow area now. It's going up to Godot, Modoc, LA 107. I'm going to check on this. Must be LA 361. There's LA 71. So now anywhere across LA 71, you're clear. You're in the clear from Morrow. Big Cane, it looks like the rotation just missed your area. And it now heading up towards Godot. And I want to make sure that that is LA 361 that runs through there. And sure enough, that's what we have. LA 361 through southern Avoyelles Parish. This is going to go south of Cottonport, but is going to cross LA 361 in Godot. And then over towards Nugent and those areas, LA 107, that would be the next in line. So if you're sandwiched between somewhere LA 361 and LA 107 in southern Avoyelles Parish, you need to take cover on this one as well. It is moving out of northern St. Landry Parish. Further down to the southwest, nothing that really tells us that we're seeing any type of other tornadic behavior. And we see those heavy showers and thunderstorms. More storms are developing down to the south across Cameron, Vermilion Parish. Even now, some in St. Mary Parish. Some of these could become tornadic. But this is our one that we really have to pay attention to. It's going up towards the Sims Point area. More out of our viewing area, but we'll go ahead and finish this off. About 18 minutes left on this warning. I think if anybody's able to pick us up down there or up here across southern Avoyelles Parish, definitely, again, take our warning very seriously here. As we're now crossing the parish line of St. Landry Parish and Avoyelles Parish, getting into southern Avoyelles Parish. So this is going to be south of Cottonport if you're looking at where we have this rotation. I'm going to put up the arrow so you can exactly see what we're looking at. I mean, it's pretty easy. Even if you didn't know what velocity was, this is the area that kind of really pops out at you that something's not right. So that's the area, and it's crossing LA 361. And then it looks like with its current trajectory at northeast at 45 miles per hour, it's going to cross LA 107 near Bodoc, and then eventually could make it up to the Simmsport area. Tornado warning will go until 10 a.m. It is moving rather quickly, and this has been going on. I mean, we cut in, I'd say, about an hour ago, and this is let's see what time this was. This was 9:13, so this was 30 minutes ago. As that significant signs of rotation went right through Ville Platte. And you can see that how much brighter the colors began to turn as we went through Mamou, or just between Mamou and Chaitanya. And that is not a good scenario for Ville Platte, as it seems like the strongest rotation really ignited right before Ville Platte. It's been really marching along since then, up to the northeast, crossing 49. And it just crossed LA 71 and now getting into southern Avoyelles Parish, crossing LA 361. So this couplet has been lasting long.
Where should Gerald head to?
Well, just Ville Platte, like west of Ville Platte, go down Martin Luther King Drive and see if something's around that way. As this continues to work into southern Avoyelles Parish, it will be and is crossing LA 361 and then LA 107. If you're watching, if you're able to see us from Bayou Jack, good morning there. The rotation's going north of your location. It's going to be close to Nugent, but it looks like it's going to be north of Nugent there in Avoyelles Parish, as it will continue to work off pretty quickly. It's been moving rather rapidly here. 45 mile per hour movement speed is quick for the possibility of a tornado there. Back over to radar, just giving a bigger picture of what's going on now. As we see heavy showers and thunderstorms over almost the same areas that dealt with them this morning in Ville Platte and Evangeline Parish, all across really much of northern Acadiana. And you can see that green polygon. There's a flash flood warning there that goes until 10 a.m., but they actually may need to extend it again because more heavy rains are moving into those areas. And you can see the general track, we're going to put radar into motion, is moving eastward now. So we are starting to get this actual system moving slowly through Acadiana. So that means that a lot of the heavier rains that Lafayette has missed, well, it looks like our luck's going to run out here. The flash flooding threat may be on the lower side for us here in central and southern Acadiana, but I don't think the tornado threat is on the lower side for us. As for the next several hours until about those midday hours, around noon to 1 o'clock, I think we'll continue to see a tornado threat here in central and southern Acadiana, and we'll really have to watch these storms that are coming in off the Gulf of Mexico for tornadic behavior as well. That tends to happen sometimes, and that will happen in the plain states where you get these prefrontal storms really developing, and then they become what we call supercellular. Now, we're not seeing that right now, but that is always a threat in this kind of setup. One more time up across this area here, we just zoomed in to Avoyelles Parish now. So just kind of give you an idea of where we're at. Lafayette's way down here. We have Opelousas, then we'd have Washington, we have Bunkie, and that area right there with the tornado warning is that spot right there southeast of Bunkie. And the flash flood warning is ongoing for this area too, but the main concern is that tornado warning with that velocity right there. And we're even going to zoom in even closer for everybody to really get you an idea of where this exactly is for southern Avoyelles Parish. So it is out of St. Landry Parish now officially. Big Cane, Morrow, those areas are fine now. Hopefully no damage reports coming out of those areas here soon. And this eventually will continue to work across LA 107 up towards Simmsport. So let me put a new storm track on this as it moves off to the northeast at 45 miles per hour. So Taterville, it was at 948. Well, Taterville's too south. The way I've made that. Don't worry about Taterville if you are watching this morning. Simmsport at 10:05. Launchonnet there at 10:06. We're at 9:47 right now. That warning is until 10 a.m., but based on what we're seeing here, they're going to have to extend that. And it may go all the way into Mississippi eventually. Once it gets out of Avoyelles Parish, it will get out of the National Weather Service Lake Charles responsibility. They hand it off, and they may start to issue new warnings based on that in the next National Weather Service over as it gets into Mississippi. That's what we currently have. Flash flood warning, tornado warning, a significant sign that there is something there when it comes to tornadic activity south of Plocheville, and then LA 107. I think that's it's about to cross that area. Yeah, LA 107. And as we check on Live Doppler 10 here, more storms are developing to the south. Some of these that are more kidney bean shaped, that's something that we always kind of look out for. You know, you're noticing a little bit of a bean shape down here across southern Vermilion Parish. That's something that we'll have to really pay close attention to. Anytime you see that just on reflectivity with jelly bean, kidney bean shape, that is also a sign that we possibly have rotation there. And they may issue, looking at that myself, they may have to issue a warning on that. I wonder if they're even kind of noticing what's going on down here. Here, let's zoom in on this. I'm looking at this one right here. I'm going to put up the hand here so you can see what I'm talking about, or the arrow. This one right here. Definitely rotation with this one. It's going to be moving northward. Right now, that's the marshy lands there of Vermilion Parish, so we are east of Pecan Island. That's good news, but it may make a run at Intracoastal City. And there's definitely some signs of rotation with this one. No warnings yet, but I guarantee I can almost tell you that National Weather Service is really watching this one. And there's some rotation with that one down to the south. And more rotation showing up with other storms offshore here. As the other rotation now has moved into more of southern Avoyelles Parish. Can you communicate with Michael to see what his plans are here? Just to see how long he wants us to stay on. Okay. Let's go ahead and do that. Just me? Okay, so Gerald's on his way. He went back to Opelousas after we told him to seek shelter, so he ran off to Opelousas there. Right call to get away from that storm. Now he's on his way back to Ville Platte, and let's check in on him. We're just doing a phoner at this point, and I'm just curious to see if you saw anything yet or if you're coming up on any type of damage there in parts of Evangeline Parish there, Gerald.
Chris, can you hear me? Can y'all hear me back there?
Yes.
So, we made our way back to Ville Platte, and in fact, we have our live shot ready up on TV, and I got my eyes on my phones right now. So, if our producers or news director in the back want to let me know if we want to switch over to TV, y'all just let me know. But yeah, Chris, we made the way down to Washington, Opelousas, because we're sitting here at the Why Not stop right on the corner of Tate Road, or Tate Cove, excuse me, and we had time to get out. I'm like, man, I don't fool with this stuff. So like I wish most people didn't either, right? And I know obviously not everybody in the situation we were to kind of get out of Dodge. I know some people are at work, but we headed back towards Washington, Opelousas. We did that, and when we did that, obviously we found our way into some sunny skies. We sat tight and waited for what could have been a tornado to kind of make its way across I-49 so we can make our way back into Ville Platte. What's crazy is the amount of text messages I've been getting from people across Acadiana that have been going, man, I can't believe they don't have school today. But I'm sitting there going, wow, look at what we're dealing with in Evangeline Parish. And John, do me a favor. We may be on TVU. Michael, I got my phone on me. Just let me know. In fact, I'm going to switch over to IFB and just keep talking. So boom, Acadiana, y'all sit tight with me. All right, I am dialed into our IFB line, so I can hear y'all in the back now. 500-1180, I'm there. Okay, so we're on TVU, and we're at the Why Not stop. And look, John, we kind of show off some stuff, if you don't mind. Look, we're dealing with normal thunderstorm stuff right now. Earlier today, these barricades were pushed a little bit farther back, which was causing some issues. That was on 29. We were on 29. When Chris kept saying, we're on 29, Gerald, go ahead and seek shelter, I'm sitting there going like, man, we got 15, 20 minutes. I feel like we can make a move back down into St. Landry Parish, which we were able to do to kind of get out of Dodge with that last tornado warning. So we were able to do that, and since then they've moved the barricades up, and now 29 at Take Cove Road is currently closed. We're in Evangeline Parish. We just got back into Evangeline Parish, and when we made that decision, we decided to start our coverage again back where you last saw us, Acadiana, because like we told y'all, you weren't going to see us again till we were in the clear. We are in the clear at this point. I know we still have plenty of thunderstorms across the area. I know Chris was talking about some activity in Vermilion Parish. I know we're still seeing thunderstorms, some flash flooding on the roadways here in Ville Platte. I understand all the significant storm weather events that can happen on a day like today, and I just hope, Acadiana, that y'all are taking it serious. I will say I'm seeing less and less cars out on the road. I don't know if that has to do with the timing of things, with people maybe being back at work, but we are starting to get some heavier rainfall here on the corner of 29 and Take Cove Road. I believe I'm saying that right. I know those of you watching in Ville Platte, feel free to let me know if I'm messing that up, but I just want y'all to know we're by the Great Wall Chinese Buffet, the Rich's Why Not Stop, the Domino's, the McDonald's, the Popeyes in Ville Platte. So we're going to make our way around town. We're going to drive around a little bit, see what's happening, make sure if there was any tornado damage to go ahead and that's what I'm looking for, to go assess what's happening and give y'all some more shots around Evangeline Parish, specifically around Ville Platte. Like I said, today's one of those crazy weather days. We're going to be dealing with stuff across our area. Chris Cozart, KLFY News 10, Pop Spot 2. We've been rolling right along since the 4:30 half hour since the show got started. And Chris, I will say over the course of the last couple of days, our meteorologist Heath Morton as well, I've spoken with both of them. We're talking about mid to late morning. We're talking about that midday stuff is where things are really going to start to fire up. And I can tell y'all what an uneasy feeling to get that phone call. Because, I feel like during hurricanes and stuff like that, we get those warnings, but to be like, hey, man, are you in Ville Platte? Like, whoa. You need to find a spot. So to keep hearing that, and knowing we can still get out of Dodge, we decided to make that decision. So with that being said, we're going to bob around Ville Platte, see what's happening. Acadiana, hopefully you're staying safe out there. Like I said, these thunderstorms starting to roll through a little bit more. John, let's show those off as we wrap here for this live shot. We're going to go bob around Flat Town and see what's happening in Evangeline Parish. With John Weatherall, I'm Gerald Grunig. You're watching KLFY News 10.
We're glad to know that both of you are safe, Gerald. A massive weather system that continues to barrel across the country has turned deadly. Drenching rain and tornadoes continue to hit the south, where at least 2 deaths are being reported in Louisiana. That's a child and his mother. Dozens of injuries are also being reported in the state. In the Rockies and Great Lakes regions, heavy snow and freezing rains have been causing dangerous conditions. Jared Hill reports from New York.
Tornado! Severe storms ripped through the South.
Oh, my God.
Spawning multiple tornadoes that damaged homes and businesses in Texas, injuring at least 5 people.
It's a disaster, but it's fixable. So this is nothing I've ever been through and nothing I want to go through again.
Twisters also tore through parts of Oklahoma and Louisiana, downing trees and power lines and causing damage to homes and businesses.
The roof was gone, and they always say, did you hear a train coming? Well, this was a big train to come through here.
Caddo Parish Sheriff Steve Prater described the heart-wrenching search for a child who was killed.
We've had probably 50 deputies and state police and firefighters and everyone out there working, and we did locate a young child about a half a mile from the actual site of where the home used to be.
Further north, blizzard conditions in Colorado and Nebraska, as well as freezing rain and snow in the Dakotas, shut down major highways.
So if you're traveling this way, slow down.
Minnesota is under a blizzard warning, with a forecast calling for up to a foot of snow in some areas.
Each area is really having a unique element when it comes to the storm. And so we're waiting for those things to happen. Crews are staying prepared. We're monitoring things.
Since Monday, the storms have caused more than 10,000 flights to be delayed or canceled. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
In the coming days, severe weather pushes eastward, threatening Mississippi, Alabama, and Florida with possible storms, while the Northeast also braces for heavy snow. This storm system has already left a trail of damage in parts of North Louisiana. As we've been talking about all morning, 2 deaths are being reported in Caddo Parish. One child and his mother were killed after a tornado tore through the Pecan Farms area in the community of Keithville last night. Officials say the boy's body was found in a wooded area late Tuesday night. The sheriff's office says the woman's body was found early this morning under wreckage caused by the tornado, one street over from where her home was destroyed. Caddo Parish Sheriff Steve Prater says between 20 and 30 homes were damaged in the neighborhood and several are destroyed. 2 other people were injured and taken to the hospital. A tornado was reported on the ground near Highway 169, not far from the Four Forks area, before heading towards Shreveport. Now, the National Weather Service will be sending crews to survey the area later this morning. Over in Union Parish, the Formerville police chief says nearly 25 people were injured, some critically, after a tornado leveled a neighborhood in that area. According to the National Weather Service, the damage was reported along Highway 2 near Scott's Hideaway Road in Union Parish. Authorities are currently conducting a search and rescue around the Union Villa apartment area. Entergy is now reporting nearly 300 customers are without power near Formerville west of Lake Darbon. The National Weather Service in Shreveport says they will also send a team to survey the damage in this area later this morning. Continuing coverage, we're going to go ahead and throw it back to Chris Cozart. Chris, what do we know so far?
Well, the good news is all the warnings, the tornado warnings, have been expired now, so we no longer have that one in Avoyelles Parish. There is one cell in Vermilion Parish that has at least my attention, but no warnings with that. That's across the very southern portions of Vermilion Parish. Now, the flash flooding threat, that continues. In fact, the National Weather Service has now extended that flash flood warning that we've been talking about until noon. And we're coming up on 10 a.m. as we speak. So another 2 hours of that because, one, more rainfall is falling across these areas. So flash flooding, once again, going to be a concern in the Ville Platte area. That's where we've been seeing Gerald Grunig. That's where also the possible very strong rotation rolled over Ville Platte in those areas. So once again, we are seeing that filling in with more heavy rains across the Ville Platte area, and these areas have already seen about 5 to 7 inches of rainfall. If I had to guess right now, I can actually put up the rainfall totals from the past 12 hours, and now we're starting to push into that 5 to 7 inch range in and around Basile, Pine Prairie, Ville Platte. The purples and the reds that you're noticing there, that's at radar estimated 5 to 7 inches of rain, and more rain is falling there. So we're going to be pushing 10 inches possibly of rainfall from this event across much of Evangeline Parish, and now we have these storms that are developing down to the south. And this one cell currently does not have a warning with it, but it will be definitely watched closely by the National Weather Service. It will be moving over the western parts there of Vermilion Bay up towards Intracoastal City. There definitely is some signs of rotation with that cell right there that has lightning strikes with that and some very heavy rains. Fortunately, again, this is east of LA 82 there that runs across Pecan Island and those areas across the coastal areas of Vermilion Parish. So we're in the marshy lands right now, but that's one that's going to continue to lift off to the north, going towards Abbeville, over towards Delcombe and Erath. That I think will have our concern. Some areas of heavy rains here across southern portions of Gaydon. I think the western parts of Vermilion Parish, this is another area that will need to be watched closely as well for possible rotation. But the good news is, again, it looks like the tornado warnings have expired here, especially that one across Avoyelles Parish. We're waiting for any confirmation of any type of damage or storm spotting reports that came out of Evangeline Parish there as it moved over Ville Platte and eventually St. Landry Parish. The only warning we have, again, is the flash flood warning. No current tornado warnings in place, but there's still that tornado threat for more of Acadiana as we go through the next, I would say, another 2 to 4 hours at least as we get closer to 1 to 2 p.m. We're good to go. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and catch our breath here since we don't have any type of real severe weather. The flash flooding is severe, so don't drive if you're in anywhere in this flash flood warning because we've seen significant rainfall in those areas. But I wouldn't be surprised if we're back on here in the next 5 to 10 minutes with a new tornado warning to talk about. And this could be south of I-10 and in and around Lafayette Parish. So make sure to tune in to keep it right here on KLFY. If you need more information, go to KLFY.com. Or even download our Live Doppler 10 Storm Team Weather app. For now, I'm meteorologist Chris Cozart here in the Live Doppler 10 Storm Team Weather Center.